What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Happy Sunday to you. Hope your NFL teams are doing well. How we doing today? Happy Sunday. This is break number 803 BD. This is a case of Prizm Baseball Hobby. 12 boxes. Here we go. All right, here we go. There's 6. Three makes 9. 3 makes 12. There we go. Box number 1. No unpaid, Alfred. Sorry, bud. Everything got paid for, my friend. How you been? All right, box 1. Here we go. All right, box 1, here we go. Got Miles Naylor, purple. Purple to 149, that's 117 out of 149. Dylan Dreeling on the silver prism. James Tibbs on the dingers. Red, Robin Yount. Robin Yount, red. That is 299 out of 299. We got an orange wave of Drangelo, 34 of 49. Paul Skeens on the fireworks. Pulsar of David Shields to 499, 222 out of 499. Whitey Ford on the silver prism. Deion Sanders on the prismatic. Nelson Cruz. We got Kellen Lindsey on the first auto of the break. It is a Pulsar auto for the Dodgers to 199. That is numbered 80. Is that 4? 84 out of 199. 84 of 199. Pulsar auto. Blake Burke on the green scope to 75. That is 74 of 75. Deion Sanders on the red wave. Bubba Chandler on the talisman. Blue, Nick Kurtz. Probably going to be Rookie of the Year, 153 out of 199 in the AL. Sebastian Walcott on the silver prism. Hao-Sung Kim for the fireworks for the Dodgers. Pulsar, Gary Sheffield. Gary Sheffield on the Pulsar, and we have another Pulsar auto right behind it. Gary Sheffield, 224 out of 499. That is Ben Hess for the Yankees on the Pulsar auto. Ben Hess for the Yankees. That is 66 of 199. 66 of 199. Colson Montgomery on the talisman. That's red Prince Fielder. Prince Fielder to 299, 284 to 299. Colin Hawk for the Mets on the silver prism. Rintaro Sasaki on the dingers. That goes to the non-MLB other spot. Pulsar of Brody Brecht. Brody Brecht to 499. That is 32 out of 499. Tommy White on the red wave for the A's. Christian Moore on the fireworks. Bud Selig on the red checkerboard. That is 36 of 99. John Smoltz on the silver prism. Travis Bazzana on the prismatic. We got blue. That is Vance Honeycutt for Baltimore. Vance Honeycutt, 21 of 199. Kalen Culpepper on the red wave. That is a red talisman. That is going to be to 99. Nope, 199. 69 of 199. That's for the Red Sox, Roman Anthony. Pulsar of Gary Sheffield for the Yankees. That's 269 of 499. Edwin Encarnacion on the silver prism. Jesus Maid on the talisman. Got a purple Miguel Cabrera. Purple Miguel. We got Walker Jenke on the Pulsar auto. That is 82 out of 199 for Houston. Miggy, 47 out of 149. Vlad Guerrero Sr. on the dingers. And that is box number 1. Box number 1. All right, that should be better. Box number 2. All right, box number 2. Pulsar Edwin Encarnacion to 499. 137 of 499. That's Jacob Gonzalez, not numbered on the sensational signatures for the White Sox. Travis Bazana on the firework. Joe DiMaggio on the purple to 149. 98 of 149 for the Yankees. Marcelo Mayer, silver prism. Dingers of Ken Griffey Jr. That's a red Cole Young. Red Cole Young, that is 102 of 299. And we have a true gold to 10. True gold to 10 of Roman Anthony for the Red Sox. 8 out of 10. Talisman of Christian Moore. Pulsar Chase Burns to 499. It's 47 of 499. Christian Campbell for the Red Sox, silver. Bubba Chandler on the fireworks. Got blue Juan Valera. That is for Boston Red Sox also. 78 of 199. Adrian Gonzalez on the red wave. That's for the Padres. That is a red dingers to 199 of Manny Ramirez. 124 of 199 for the Red Sox. This has been a Red Sox box. St. Louis Cardinals, Bob Gibson. Pulsar, 86 out of 499. Homer Bush on the silver prism. Chase Burns talisman. Red, Braylon Doty. That's for Cleveland. 264 of 299. Our next auto, Michael Carrico. That's for the Cubs. Michael Carrico not numbered for the Cubs. Jacob Wilson on the prismatic. Blake Burke to 499 on the Pulsar. 410 of 499. Pedro Martinez Silver Prism. Slade Caldwell Fireworks. Checkerboard of Thomas White. That is 91 of 99. Carson Williams on the Red Wave. Dingers of Braden Montgomery. Blue, Bobby Witt Jr. on the color match. That is 44 of 199. Randy Johnson, Silver Prism. Talisman of Marcelo Mayer. Prismatic Auto going to the Yankees. That is a Prismatrix Auto. That is Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, 94 out of 99. What do you mean, what's up with the YouTube Live? It's on. Cheddar. Breaks and takes two. Breaks and takes two. Bryce Cunningham for the Yankees on the Pulsar to 499. 7 of 499. Juan Valera for the Red Sox, Red Wave. Triantos on the Prismatic. What's up, blah? That is my guy. Donnie Baseball is my guy. Trey Yesavage for Toronto. That is 6 out of 149. Brady House on the Silver Prism. Kellen Lindsay. And that, my friends, is box number 2. Box number 2. Box number 3. Box number 3. Every case has one of these boxes, of course. How's the sound on YouTube, blah? Because I was working on the audio to make sure there was no static or any feedback. How's the audio today? Because I did a test for like 10 minutes and I heard no feedback or no audio issues, so I'm trying to get it fixed for everybody. So how's this sound today? All right, box number 3. Here we go. Sounds fine, Dustin. Better today, finally? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Here we go. We got a redemption coming. We got Drew Burris on the Pulsar. That is 53 of 499. We got a redemption right there. A talisman of Bryce Eldridge. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. We got Jack Leiter. That is 74 of 149. Owen Hall on the Silver Prism. Kumar Rocker on the Prismatic. Junior Caminero. That's a nice red to 299. 225 out of 299. Paul Molitor on the Red Wave. Nick Kurtz. Our redemption. Wow. Luis Baez, outfielder, card number 91. I'm not sure if this is the Luis Baez for the Mets or is it Luis Baez for Houston, so let's check the checklist. '25 Prism Baseball checklist. This is a sensational signature. Says Luis Baez, outfielder. Card number 91. This is the Houston Astros. Houston Astros. This is not numbered on the sensational signatures. Not numbered. Excuse me. Randy Johnson, Pulsar for the Yankees, 297 out of 499. Chase Meadroth for the White Sox. Detroit, Miguel Cabrera on the Dingers. How about Jonah Tong? Jonah Tong, that's for the Mets. On the sensational signatures red. That one is numbered 7 out of 99 for the Mets. 7 out of 99. Ryan Sloan, blue to 199 for Seattle. That is 174 out of 199. Malcolm Moore on the Red Wave for the Rangers. Talisman of Luis Angel Acuna. That's for the Mets. Ben Hess for the Yankees. 493 of 499. Al Kaline for the Tigers. Silver. Chase Dollander on the Prismatic. Pulsar, Aiden Miller, 43 of 499. And how about for the San Francisco Giants, on the Mojo Auto, Will the Thrill Clark. Will Clark, 12 out of 25. The Thrill. So happy to see him in a Giants uniform. Usually Panini likes to put him in Texas Rangers uniforms. James Wood on the Fireworks. Lou Dickerson on the checkerboard. That is 94 of 99. Jack Leiter, silver. Bryce Rainier. We got our Snakeskin. Snakeskin behind Jim Rice. Brady Montgomery. Jim Rice. He is a blue. Jim Rice, 166 out of 199 for the Red Sox. And our snakeskin goes to, looks like the Oakland A's. Oh, how about Reggie Jackson? Reggie Jackson on the snakeskin, case hit, short print. It's nice. That is actually pretty sick. Oh, there's our Color Blast. Color Blast. Covering up the Color Blast. It's right there. Behind that one. About 1 minute. We'll get to that Color Blast. Bobby Witt Jr. on the Pulsar. 425 of 499. Kobe Mayo, silver. Red Lauder on the Fireworks. We got a green JC Escada for the Yankees. That is a green scope, 46 of 75. Christian Scott on the Red Wave. There's our Color Blast right there. We're going to sit it there. Let's finish this box off. Malcolm Moore, red, that is to 299, 171 of 299. Silver, Tommy Troy. Hideki Matsui on the Dingers. Let's get these put away and we'll do our Color Blast. Here we go, guys. Good luck to everybody on the Color Blast. Let's get our... It is a rookie Color Blast. Rookie Color Blast. And for the second time in 2 cases, we got Dylan Cruz for Washington. Dylan Cruz for Washington on the Color Blast. He was in the last case. He's in this case. Congrats to Washington. Box number 4. Box number 4, here we go. Marcelo Mayer on the Pulsar, 445 out of 499. Tommy Troy, silver prism. Red Lauder Firework. Carson Williams, that's on the checkerboard to 299, 73 of 99. Our first auto, that is Cooper Zierpe for St. Louis on the Mojo Auto. Cooper Zierpe, that is 3 out of 199. Hideki Matsui on the dingers. Blue, Enrique Bradfield Jr. That one's going to Baltimore. Blue, that is 124 out of 199. Roberto Clemente on the Silver Prism. Bryce Eldridge on the Talisman. Matt Shaw for the Cubs. That's 74 out of 499. Owen Cassé for the Cubs on the Red Wave. Kumar Rocker on the Prismatic. For the Diamondbacks, we got Yumin Lin. Purple. That is to 149. 6 of 149. Kevin McGonigal, Silver Prism, Fireworks of Nick Kurtz. We got another redemption. Pudge Rodriguez, red. That is 184 out of 299. Tony Perez on the Red Wave. Dingers of Miguel Cabrera. Here we go. Prospect signatures not numbered. Card number 20. Focus. Roman Anthony. Roman Anthony, that's going to the Red Sox. On that redemption. Tom Glavine on the Pulsar, 70 out of 499. Ty Cobb on the Red Wave. We got a Firework. Mojo Firework of Jack Leiter to 25. That is 4 out of 25 for Texas. John Smoltz on the Pulsar, 120 out of 499. Al Kaline on the Silver Prism. Talisman of Luis Angel Acuna. Tommy White on the Orange Wave. Chase Dolander on the Prismatic. Tommy White, Orange Wave, 22 of 49. Our next auto is Max Anderson for Detroit. That is on the Pulsar to 199. 66 out of 199 on the auto. That True Gold. True Gold coming to 10. Levi Wells for Baltimore on the red. That is 212 out of 299. Alex Rodriguez, Silver Prism. Dingers of David Ortiz. We got a Pulsar of Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra Pulsar. That is 487 out of 499. Our gold is for the non-MLB other spot. That is Georgia Tech's Drew Burris. Drew Burris gold, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 for the non-MLB other spot. What's up, GH? What's up to you too? George Lombard Jr. on the Prismatic. Blue, Kalen Culpepper for Minnesota. That is 44 of 199. Kyle DeBarge on the Silver Prism. Connor Griffin Fireworks. Box number 5. Box number 5. All right, box number 5. Here we go. Green Scope. That's Luis Baez for Houston. 67 of 75. Tim Hudson, Silver Prism. Dingers of Manny Ramirez. Rod Carew on the purple. Rod Carew on the purple. That is 117 of 149. Our first auto of this box, that's Hector Rodriguez. Hector Rodriguez for Cincinnati. Pulsar auto to 199. 163 of 199. Talisman of Josh Young. Red, Gary Sheffield for the Yankees. Gary Sheffield, 9 out of 299. Seaver King on the Silver Prism. Kyle Teal on the Prismatic. Pulsar, Jose Canseco, that's going to Texas. 67 of 499. Roy Campanella on the red wave for the Dodgers. We got Fireworks of Carson Bench. Blue auto of Jesus Made. Nice prospect auto for the Brewers. 46 of 49. 46 of 49 for the Brew Crew. Very nice. Behind that for Pittsburgh, Kyler. Kiki Kyler, that is a red to 299. 61 of 299. Alex Gordon on the red wave. Talisman Nick Kurtz. Pulsar, Jarlin Susanna. That is 284 out of 499 for Washington. Kyle Teal for the White Sox, silver. Vance Honeycutt for Baltimore. Joe Jackson, shoeless Joe Jackson going to the White Sox. 83 out of 499. Brandon Sprout, silver for the Mets. Leo Tavares on the Prismatic. I think that's the first shoeless Joe Jackson card I've pulled with any number on it since I've been doing these cases. Tony Olivia, blue to 199. That is for Minnesota. 89 out of 199. Our next auto is Max Muncy, rookie for the Oakland Athletics. Oakland Athletics, sensational signature rookie, not numbered. We got a dingers of James Wood for Washington. Frank Thomas to 499. That is 417 of 499. Neon Deion Sanders, silver. Jace Young. Got a mojo coming. Andrew Walters, purple. That is to 149. 15 of 149. And the mojo goes to the Dodgers. That is Pee Wee Reese to 25. 11 out of 25. Fireworks of Charlie Condon. Roy Caminella for the Dodgers. That is 66 of 499. Heston Kjerstad on the red wave. That is Franklin Arias for the Red Sox on the blue fireworks. 25 of 99. Brooks Lee, red. Brooks Lee for Minnesota. 124 out of 299. Leo Tavares, silver prism for the Padres. Leo on the dingers. That's box number 5. Box number 6. All right, box number 6. Here we go. Box number 6. Jake Peavy for the Padres. Jake Peavy, that's 166 of 299. Harry Ford. Harry Ford for Seattle on the auto, not numbered. Chase Burns Prismatic. Pulsar, Bobby Richardson for the Yankees. 436 out of 499. 436 out of 499. Ian Kinsler on the Silver Prism. Carson Williams on the Fireworks. Blue, Adam Jones. That's going to Baltimore. Our mojo behind it is Mike Schmidt for the Philadelphia Phillies. Adam Jones, 97 and 199. Mike Schmidt on the mojo, 4 out of 25. Dingers for the Yankees, Reggie Jackson. Looks like we may have another gold. Or it's either gold or it's a yellow, orange wave, but I think it's gold. Aaron Escobar. That is 6 out of 499. Levi Wells, Silver Prism. Spencer Jones, Talisman. That's a purple Robin Ventura to 149. That is 110 of 149. We got a red Carter Jensen. That looks like a gold Talisman. That looks like a gold Talisman. Let's see. I don't know. Sure looks cool to me. That is Marcelo Mayer on the gold Talisman, 8 out of 10. It's our third true gold of this case in 6 boxes. That is awesome. Nice hit for the Red Sox. Jake Arrieta, that is 265 of 299. Billy Martin on the Silver Prism. Prismatic of Rhett Lauder. Jack Morris on the Pulsar. That is 406 of 499. Thatcher Hurd, that's for the Yankees. Sorry, Thatcher Hurd for the Yankees on the Pulsar Auto. That is 156 out of 199. Dingers of Albert Pujols. Hideki Matsui for the Yankees on the checkerboard. 9 of 99. Mac Horvath, Tampa Bay Silver Prism. Hagen Smith on the Prismatic. That's a blue. Nick York, rookie for the Pirates. 183 of 199. Kellen Lindsey for the Dodgers Red Wave. Spencer Jones on the Fireworks. Roberto Clemente. That is 121 of 499. Franklin Arias on the silver prism for the Red Sox. Jackson Chourio on the Dingers, Milwaukee. We got a blue auto of Bryce Rainier. That is Bryce Rainier for the Detroit Tigers. Nice auto. Prospect blue, 25 of 49. 25 of 49. Then we got Jacob Wilson on the green, scope to 75. Jacob Wilson, 43 of 75. Hyun-Suk Jang, red wave, talisman of Hagen Smith. Alex Freeland on the red, 199 of 299. Jim Rice, silver prism. Roman Anthony, prismatic. That's box 6, guys. Halfway point. All right, back at it. Box number 7. Box number 7. Box number 7, here we go. Green scope, PJ Morlando. That is 19 out of 75. Jared Thomas for Colorado. Sensational signature, that's not numbered. Talisman of Chase Dollander. Blue, Kalen Culpepper. That is for Minnesota. 139 out of 199. Dante Nori on the silver prism. Dylan Cruz prismatic. We got our first cherry blossom of the break. Ryan Sloan to 499, 421 of 499. Our first cherry blossom goes to St. Louis. Tekoa Roby to 20. That is 16 out of 20. Firework of Jack Leiter. Don Mattingly, 58 of 299. John Smoltz, silver prism. Dingers of Tommy White for Oakland. Earl Combs to 499. That's for the New York Yankees. That is 243 out of 499. Drew Burris. That's for Georgia Tech. That is the other non-MLB spot. We got a Rhett Lauder Firework red to 199. Rhett Lauder red firework 105 out of 199. Checkerboard. That is Brooks Lee for Minnesota. That is 24 of 99. Mike Piazza on the Silver Prism. Talisman of Paul Skeens. Blue, James Tibbs for the Giants. That is a blue 124 out of 199. Joseph Redfield for the Angels. Joseph Redfield. That is a Pulsar Auto 189 out of 199. George Lombard on the Firework. Bobby Witt Jr. on the Pulsar. That is 18 out of 499. Manny Ramirez on the Silver Prism. Talisman of Sung Kim. Purple, Spencer Jones for the Yankees. 15 out of 149. Cliff Lee Red Wave. Prismatic of Bryce Rainier. Prince Fielder for Milwaukee. 93 of 299. Aaron Judge on the Silver Prism. Fireworks of Franklin Arias. Our next auto goes to the Chicago Cubs, and that is Sammy Sosa. Slamming Sammy Sosa, 11 out of 49. 11 of 49. Tim Hudson. Tim Hudson, that is 288 of 499. Ken Griffey Sr. on the Red Wave. Dingers of Christian Campbell. We got orange of Monty Irvin. That is for the San Francisco Giants because that's the New York Giants, 46 of 49. Zebby Matthews for Minnesota Silver. Christian Campbell. That is box 7. Box number 8. Box number 8. All right, box number 8. Here we go. Box number 8. Andy Pettitte on the Pulsar. That is Andy Pettitte 30 of 499. Behind that, for the Arizona Diamondbacks, we got a Prismatrix auto of Drew Jones. Prismatrix auto, Drew Jones. Wow, not numbered. I thought these were all numbered, but I'm assuming not. Nope, not numbered on the Prismatrix auto of Drew Jones. Dingers of Hideki Matsui. Got another gold coming. Another gold, and it looks like another gold insert, like a talisman. We got Gerangelo for Seattle, 56 of 149. Harry Ford silver, talisman of Bryce Eldridge. Drew Beam on the red. Drew Beam, 197 out of 199 in our gold. Actually, it's just a gold Johnny Bench for the Cincinnati Reds. 3 out of 10 on the true gold Johnny Bench. Nice one for Cincinnati. Grab some more top loaders. Here we go. Back to box number 8. Here we go. Joe Sewell. That's for the Cleveland Guardians. That is 15 out of 499. Albert Pujols on the silver. Nick Kurtz on the fireworks. Triz Speaker for the Boston Red Sox on the checkerboard. 80 out of 99. Grover Alexander for the Cubs. Grover Alexander for the Cubs on the red wave. And Tommy White on the fireworks blue. That is 55 of 99. 55 of 99 on the fireworks blue. Enrique Bradfield Jr. blue. 65 of 199. Paul O'Neill silver. Miguel Cabrera dingers. Vlad Sr. Randy Johnson on the Pulsar. That is 19 of 499 for the Yankees. Our next auto, Zach Thornton. That's going to the Mets. Pulsar auto. That is numbered 129 or 126 out of 199. Luis Angel Acuna. Red Shoeless Joe Jackson. 16 out of 299. Ethan Salas, silver prism for the Padres. Chase Dollander on the prismatic. Brody Brett to 499, 93 of 499. Billy and Mick, red wave. Dingers of Big Poppy, David Ortiz. Purple, Andrew Painter for the Phillies. 124 of 149. Whitey Ford for the Yankees. George Lombard on the Prismatic for the Yankees. That is Hideki Matsui on the Legendary Auto for the Yankees. Legendary Auto for the Yankees, not numbered. Hideki Matsui. Yankees are grabbing a bunch of autos. Nick Kurtz, red. That is 102 of 299 for the A's. Carter Holton, red wave for the Braves. Connor Griffin on the Fireworks. Ching Sin Ko for the Dodgers. 494 out of 499. Tony Olivia on the Silver Prism. Dingers of Kalen Culpepper. And that is box number 8. Box number 9. Box number 9, here we go. All right, box number 9, guys. Box number 9. Here we go. Johnny Mize, that's going to the Giants. That's 205 of 499. Bob Gibson on the Silver Prism. Albert Pujols on the Dingers. Purple, Spencer Arrighetti. That is for the Houston Astros. 135 out of 149. Behind Spencer Arrighetti was Nolan Ryan, Orange Wave. Orange Wave, Nolan Ryan, 32 out of 49, going to the Mets. Rhett Lauder on the Prismatic. Bryce McCage for Milwaukee. That is 12 out of 299. Spencer Jones for the Yankees, silver. Spencer Jones, talisman. That is Jordan Lawler. Arizona autograph. Jordan Lawler, not numbered. Homer Bush to 499. That's for Tampa Bay. 153 out of 499. Donnie Baseball on the red wave. Donnie Baseball. Reggie Jackson on the dingers. Green scope. That is Levi Wells for Baltimore. 60 of 75. Matt Shaw silver prism for the Cubs. Carson Williams for Tampa Bay. Bryce Rainier for Detroit. 5 out of 299. Then we got a legendary signature of Bert Campaneris. Bert Campaneris, that's not numbered. That's going to the Kansas City Athletics, which is the Oakland Athletics. Chase Burns for Cincinnati. It doesn't say a number on here. There we go. Going to the Oakland A's. Bert Campaneris. Okay, got it. Just needed to verify. Mike Piazza going to the Mets. 157 of 499. Seaver King on the silver. Christian Campbell on the talisman. Cash Mayfield, San Diego, 487 out of 499. Chase Dolander on the red wave. Dingers of Christian Campbell. Yandy Morales. That's going to Washington. 212 out of 499. Kiki Cooler for Pittsburgh. Franklin Arias for the Red Sox. David Ortiz, purple. That is 93 of 149. Gerangelo on the red wave. Dingers blue. That is a Dingers blue to 99 of Tommy White. 81 of 99. 81 of 99. Jadixon Paez for the Red Sox. 190 out of 299. Rod Carew on the silver prism. Bryce Rainier on the prismatic. Jack Morris for Toronto. 44 of 499. Our last auto of this box. Carter Johnson for the Miami Marlins. Not numbered. Ha-Seong Kim for the Dodgers on the Talisman. Box number 10. What's up, Junior? How are you today, bud? Good to see you, my friend. You missed my show last night. How's work been, brother? This is box number 10. Here we go. Blue for the Dodgers, Ching Sien Ko. That is 168 of 199. Nick Kurtz on the Silver Prism. Carson Benj on the Fireworks. Adrian Gonzalez for San Diego. That is 376 out of 499. Colt Emerson Red Wave. Kyle Teal Prismatic. Red, Leo DeRocher. That is for the Chicago Cubs. 210 out of 299. Kobe Mayo, Silver Prism for the Orioles. Josh Young for Detroit on the Talisman. Kalen Culpepper on the Prism Auto. This one is not numbered. Prism Auto, not numbered. Prospect for Minnesota. What's up, John? How are you, buddy? Will Wagner to 499. That is 66 of 499. Brooks Lee, Red Wave. Vance Honeycutt on the Dingers. That is Pablo Sandoval for the Giants, 57 of 99. Takoa Roby on the Silver. Cam Smith on the Fireworks. Yeah, if you want to take it. Yes. Awesome, guys. That is awesome. Blue, Jacob Mizorowski for the Milwaukee Brewers. Rookie All-Star pitcher, 45 out of 199. Our next auto is a nice one. How about my PC, Chase Dolander? Chase Dolander on the Prismatic Auto for Colorado. Where is it? 89 out of 199. Love this kid. I think he's got a great future in the Major League Baseball. Talisman of Jacob Wilson. Nice, Junior. You watching from work again? I just got out, headed home. Nice, brother. Nice. Drive careful, my friend. Drive careful. Alright, here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Shinosuke Ogasawara. That's for the Washington Nationals. 376 out of 499. Boy, try saying that name 10 times fast. Buster Posey, Silver Prism. Cam Caminiti on the Fireworks. Ethan Holiday. That goes to the non-MLB spot. We have another True Gold behind it. And that is Andy Pettitte for the New York Yankees. 4 out of 10. I think that's our 5th or 6th True Gold in this break so far. Talk about a break loaded. Ethan Holiday, 128 out of 149, in case I didn't say it. I don't know why I grabbed that one, but hey, let's do it while I got it. Red, Chase Dolander. There's another one of my boy. 176, 299. Chase Meadroth for the White Sox. Marcelo Mayer on the dingers for the Red Sox. David Shields. David Shields, that's for Kansas City. 470 of 499. Tommy White, Red Wave. That is a blue Connor Griffin Fireworks to 99. Connor Griffin, that is 28 out of 99. I love these colored inserts. Such cool colors. Willie Stargell on the green scope. That is 24 of 75 for the Pirates. Tommy Sagasi for the Cardinals. Chase Burns on the Fireworks. Tony La Russa for the Cardinals. That is red, 129 out of 299. And how about a legend signature for the Braves? Javi Lopez. Javi Lopez, that is not numbered on that auto. Seaver King Prismatic. And that is the end of box number 10. Box number 10, we got 2 to go. All right, grab some more pennies, please, real quick. There we go. Box number 11. Box number 11. Welcome back, John. Did you get kicked? You watching on your... No? I was going to say, you watching on your phone again and got kicked? You having a beer for me, my friend? You having a beer just for me? 'Cause I'm working. I can't drink. Not today. Because you have to work tomorrow, not today. Or is it 7:30 and it's too late for you back there in New York? Correct. Tell the wife I said hi. What movie did you guys end up watching last night? M? Alright guys, box number 11. Here we go. The new Superman. Was it any good? Got a new cherry blossom. Another cherry blossom coming. Here we go, guys. It was okay. Nice. Carson Williams, Tampa Bay, 32 of 299. Luke Keyshaw, Silver Prism. James Tibbs on the dingers. Christian Moore for the Angels, 405 of 499. That is James Tibbs on the cherry blossom for the Giants. Paul Skeens Fireworks. Too bad he's not a Giant anymore, man. That would be so much better. 11 out of 20. Still a nice hit. This kid's going to be really good. That's a green scope of Walker Janke. 65 of 75. Alex Gordon on the silver. Deion Sanders prismatic. $65 of $75. Red auto, that's a nice one for the non-MLB other spot. Jace Lavalette. This is a red to 99. 79 out of 99. Jace Lavalette. Ozzie Smith blue to 199. That is 1 of 199. We got a number match. Ozzie Smith number match, 1 out of 199. Jake Peavy, Red Wave. Bubba Chandler. Christian Moore to 499, 404. Zebby Matthews, Silver Prism. Song Kim, Fireworks. David Shields, red. That is 63 of 299, and behind that is our next auto. That's a nice Pulsar auto for the Padres. That is Cash Mayfield. That is 198 out of 199. 198 out of 199. Colson Montgomery on the Talisman. Cliff Lee for Texas. That is 465 of 499. James Tibbs, silver. Ritaro Sasaki on the dingers for the other spot. Checkerboard of Ian Kinsler for Texas. 52 of 99. 52 of 99. Paul O'Neill on the red wave for the Yankees. Christian Moore for the Angels on the fireworks. Levi Wells, blue, that is 28 of 199 for Baltimore. Mike Schmidt, silver prism. Travis Bazzana for Cleveland on the prismatic. Max Muncy for the Oakland A's, 449 out of 499. Ken Griffey Jr. for the Reds on the red wave. Luis Angel Acuna on the talisman blue. That's to 99. 65 of 99. That's going to the Mets. Mel Ott for the Giants. That is 61 of 149. Billy Martin on the silver prism. Jesus Maid on the talisman. Johnny Bench on the red. Vlad Guerrero Sr. on the dingers. Our last auto of this box 11 is a Pulsar to 199. And that is Grady Sizemore. Grady Sizemore, that's going to the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland Guardians, Grady Sizemore, 70 out of 199. 70 of 199. And box number 12, our final box of the break. Good luck, everybody. There we go, my friends. Christian Moore, that's blue. That is 138 of 199. Hurston Waldrop. Roman Anthony on the prismatic. Hurston Waldrop to 499. 4 of 499. Our first auto of the last box. That's Lazaro Montas for the Seattle Mariners. That one is not numbered. Travis Bazzana on the firework. Shinosuke Ogasawara. That is 245 out of 299 for Washington. Brady House, silver prism. Ken Griffey Jr. on the dingers. We have an auto in this pack. We're just going to go ahead and do it. That's Braden Taylor for Tampa Bay. Braden Taylor for Tampa Bay. This one is the sensational signature again, not numbered. Robin Ventura to 149. 94 of 149. Paul O'Neill on the red wave. Christian Moore talisman. Christian Moore. That is 412 of 499. Jared Thomas silver. Bubba Chandler fireworks. Shinosuke Ogasawara. 244 out of 299. Alex Rodriguez for Seattle on the red wave. Chase Burns talisman. Last 6 packs. Here we go. That is Craig Yoho for Milwaukee. Green scope, 49 of 75. Alejandro Rosario for Texas, silver. Jacob Wilson, prismatic. There's our last auto. We're going to put it there behind Christy Mathewson. Or Mathewson for the Giants. Hagen Smith on the prismatic. It is a Pulsar auto to 199. Red checkerboard of Hyung Suk Jang for the Dodgers, 54 of 99. Johnny Mize silver prism. Spencer Jones fireworks. I guess I should put these away first. Darryl Strawberry for the Mets. That is 392 out of 499. Kendall George for the Dodgers. That is a prismatic for Christian Moore for the Angels. That one is numbered 152 out of 199. 152 of 199. If I could get it. $152 of $199. Two packs to go. Don Mattingly. That is 193 out of 299. Ken Griffey Jr. on the silver prism. Jackson Churio on the dingers. Last pack, then we got our last auto. Darryl Strawberry, 390 out of 499. Chase Meadroth for the White Sox on the red wave. Hagen Smith Talisman. Alright, Christy Mathewson is blue. That is to 199. Let's see who our last auto is. Pulsar auto. That is Tommy Troy for the Arizona Diamondbacks to 199. 119 out of 199. 119 out of 199. Christy Mathewson to 199, 117 out of 199 going to the Giants. Alright guys, there's your break. Let's go ahead and get our recap in. Always a long break. A lot of cards. A lot of numbered cards. Here we go. Again, no names will be called out until we get to one under 99 to 99, okay? So we're just going to run through these. Here we go. These are all to $4.99.
These need to be top loaded.
Penny sleeve, and then there's penny sleeve or top of it.
Penny sleeve, top loaded
Yeah,
base.
we can take the box. Yep. Reds to $2.99. Reds to $2.99. Here we go. Blues to $1.99. Christian Moore on the Prismatic. Red Louder on the Fireworks. Dingers of Manny Ramirez. Talisman of Roman Anthony. To 149 on the purple. To 99 on the checkerboards. Hyun Suk Sheng. Luis Angel Acuna Talisman. Ian Kinsler. Connor Griffin Fireworks. Pablo Sandoval, Dingers of Tommy White, Tris Speaker, Tommy White on the Fireworks, Brooks Lee, Hideki Matsui, Firework of Franklin Arias, Carson Williams, Luke Dickerson, Thomas White, and Bud Selig. To 75 on the green scope, Craig Yoho, Walker Janke, Willie Stargell, Levi Wells, PJ Morlando, Jacob Wilson, Luis Baez, JC Escara, and Blake Burke. Orange to 49. We got Nolan Ryan, Monte Irvin, Tommy White, and Jerangelo Cinchte. 25 on the Mojo, Mike Schmidt, Pee Wee Reese, and Jack Leiter on the Fireworks. On the Cherry Blossom, James Tibbs and Tekoa Roby. Our gold, true gold, 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. We have Andy Pettit, Johnny Bench, Talisman of Marcelo Mayer, Drew Burris, and Roman Anthony. Our autographs, not numbered, we have Braden Taylor, Lazaro Montas, Javi Lopez, Kalen Culpepper, Carter Johnson, Bert Campaneris, Jordan Lawler, Jared Thomas, Harry Ford, Max Muncy, Michael Carrico, Jacob Gonzalez for Houston, Luis Baez for Boston, Roman Anthony. On the Prismatrix, Drew Jones for Arizona. And on the legendary signature, Hideki Matsui for the Yankees. To 199 on the Pulsar Autos, Tommy Troy, Grady Sizemore, Cash Mayfield, Chase Dolander, Zach Thornton, Joseph Redfield, Thatcher Hurd, Hector Rodriguez, Max Anderson, Cooper Zerpe, Walker Janke, Ben Hess, and Kellen Lindsay. Red Autos, these are to 99, Jace Lavalette, Jonah Tong, and a Prismatrix of Don Mattingly. To 49, Bryce Rainier, blue, Jesus Made, blue, Sammy Sosa, blue. And on the Mojo Auto, we got Will the Thrill Clark for the Giants on the legendary auto. We had Reginald Jackson for the Oakland Athletics on the snakeskin, and our color blast is the same color blast as on Thursday night. We had Dylan Cruz for the Washington Nationals. There's your break, my friends. Hope you guys had a good time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you hit something, and hope to see you all next time. Have a great night.